It's worth talking to me earlier. Now, 3 days after The Guardian made its allegations of phone hacking, the News of the World tonight finally issued a statement and admitted that its journalists did access information from the phone of a professional football's Gordon Taylor. But it denied all other allegations. The statement said News International, owners of the News of the World, had completed a thorough investigation and there was no evidence to support the allegations. Our Home Affairs correspondent Andy Davis has been following events.
Chairman and Chief Executive Officer
Rupert Murdock, owner of the News of the World, Fox News and a global broadcasting empire, has finally spoken on the subject of alleged phone tapping by his journalists.
All around the country, and certainly here in New York, is that the News of the World, a News Corporation newspaper in Britain, used...
I'm not talking about that issue at all today, I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries, Mr. Chairman, that's fine with me.
I'm too far removed out of here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, sir. Media attitudes towards President Obama.
Late last night, The Guardian ushered in the cameras for a first glimpse of its latest phone tap revelation. On the front cover this time, the face of the Manchester United manager, Sir Alex Ferguson. He was one of a number of public figures, claimed The Guardian, whose private messages were intercepted by Glenn Mulcaire, a private investigator who'd worked for the News of the World. The messages, it's claimed, had been left on the phone of Gordon Taylor, the Professional Footballers Association boss. Taylor, the man who sued the News of the World last year and received £700,000 allegedly in what was meant to be a totally confidential out-of-court settlement. Gordon Taylor sued the News of the World here at the High Court, it's understood, on the grounds that they must have known that their erstwhile investigator, Glenn Mulcaire, had hacked into his phone. Now that this case is out in the open, the question is, how many other public figures will attempt to do the same?
How did you feel when you learnt that...
The TV presenter Vanessa Feltz is one of several alleged targets of News of the World phone tapping who, we're told, are speaking to their lawyers. QCs reportedly are being mobilised, and attempts may soon be made by other public figures to gain access to the confidential documents in the Gordon Taylor case.
As I understand it, the Gordon Taylor case, the file in that has been sealed as part of settlement. The court file has been settled. If people are connected closely to that case, they'd be entitled, I think, to make an application to the court to see the evidence that's there. And if, again, they're named, they'd be entitled to bring a breach of privacy action.
That's an option now being considered by the MP Simon Hughes, one of several public figures whose phones Glenn Mulcaire pleaded guilty to hacking at his trial in 2006. Are you considering taking similar legal action to Gordon Taylor?
Well, it's clearly sensible to talk to my solicitor, and I shall do so. I've been too busy in the last 2 days and haven't done so. But yes, I mean, it's a perfectly proper thing to do.
If this story is now galvanising the legal world, it's been energising politicians since the day it broke.
What we're going to do is I'm going to stand outside, and when he comes, I'll give him the letter. And then I walk away, as it were.
The former Cabinet Minister Charles Clarke looked slightly edgy today as he stood outside a daycare centre with a letter for David Cameron due on a visit to his constituency. He explained that the letter had questions for Andy Coulson to answer, the former News of the World editor turned Tory spin doctor. He waited, and then almost in Roger Cook formation, he moved in.
Hi Charles, you got a letter for me, how are you? Nice to see you. Well, good to see you. Very important issue. Good to see you, cheers.
Well, Andy Davis is with us now. Andy, just about, a few minutes before we came on air, that statement from the News of the World, it's taken them 3 days to get it together. What's it tell us, really?
Well, it's a very detailed rebuttal, 2 pages rebuttal of what The Guardian has been claiming. First of all, the good news, as it were, for The Guardian. They have admitted for the first time that they were in litigation with Gordon Taylor. They have also admitted that during that litigation there was evidence that some of their journalists, other than Clive Goodman, who was convicted, had access to messages which had been obtained